Welcome, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Looks like we've still got lots of people still joining us here. We're going to go ahead and give it a couple minutes for everybody to get connected to audio and also to join the webinar if they're not already. So give it a couple minutes here. While we do wait for everybody, I also want to just kind of introduce myself. My name is Brandy, and I am the support director here at Details. So today we are going to be going through our new feature. It's called Inspiration Gallery Collections, but there's also going to be a couple of other additions that we've made here to the Inspiration Gallery. For anybody who is sitting there saying that they have, I haven't seen this feature yet, where is it? Don't worry, right now this feature is actually only in beta. So if you are not a beta tester, chances are you have not seen this feature yet. So it'll be brand new for you, but we are going to be bringing that to everybody here in the next couple of weeks. So keep an eye out on your email for more information on the full release of this feature. But we wanted to introduce it to everybody and let you know what options are going to be available, how to utilize that before it became available for everybody. So that's kind of what our course is going to go over today. And I'm going to show you all of the new little additions and updates that we've added here, how you're going to go in and update any current inspirations you might already have in your gallery, and then also how to add new ones and how to assign different information to those images. So we'll give that just another couple of minutes here, maybe about 2:04, we'll get started there. I do ask that everybody remain on mute during our presentation today. And then of course, at the end of our presentation, we are going to open that up for some additional questions. So if you have questions, write them down. You can also put them into the chat and I will go ahead and address those at the end as well. And then from there, of course, we are going to send everybody a follow-up email with more information about this feature, the full recap video, so you can go back and watch that when it does become available for everybody. And that way you'll have kind of a tutorial guide on how to add and update any of the inspiration images that you have in your gallery. Perfect. Looks like we still got some more people coming in here. Love it. This actually was the most heavily registered class, tips and tricks class that we've done. So I think this is going to be a really, really great addition for everybody. And I know that it's been something that a lot of people have been wanting. So we are happy to bring that to you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I also do have my co-host here, Olivia, and she is going to be available to chat with you guys if you have any questions or anything during the presentation. And then, of course, afterward, she'll be there in the chat to answer any questions as we go through as well. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we're going to jump right on in. Let me get my chat and my windows all open here. Lovely. All right, so today we're going to go through all of our different options here. This is what your inspiration gallery is going to look like once this is available for everyone. It's also what it will look like if you're currently a beta tester. So it looks very similar to both our recipe gallery and our item gallery that everybody knows and loves. And the functionality is going to primarily be the same with some additional options here. So to get started, everyone is going to have that all inspiration folder. If you've already got inspiration loaded into your inspiration gallery, they will now live in that all inspirations folder. You can click into that to see all of your available inspiration photos that you have. And then, of course, everything is going to be listed out in this collection exactly as you see it now. For any of the inspiration photos that you have in here, you can also edit them. So if we hover over one of our different images here, you're going to notice that we now have several options up here in the top right. So you've got that star that we had before and that you've seen in other galleries. You've got your trash can, and then you now have this new option to edit, this pencil icon. So when you open up an inspiration photo, it's going to give you a box very similar to what we see in both the recipe and item galleries. First box that we see here is going to be our description. So you're going to be able to name your inspirations. This is going to be great for searching for those items. And then you're also going to be able to categorize those. The categories are going to work exactly like they do in the recipe gallery. They're free entry fields, so you can have categories of any variety that you'd like. Some of the ones that I've started to create in here are things like venues or signage or cake flowers, things like that. For this example, this is my tablescape. I've also just generically named it tablescape here as well. And then you can go in and put a description of this image. Next, you're going to go up to the colors tab here, and you can assign colors to your image. You will notice that it has that pull colors from image option up here in the top right-hand corner. For anyone who's familiar with the more details page in the item gallery, then you'll have seen this pull colors from image option here. And then you'll also have your plus symbol here. So you can, of course, select a color from that main color palette that you see both on the worksheet and item gallery and recipe gallery. So you can drag and drop your dropper around to get any different shades or hues. And then, of course, like on other pages, if you're not familiar with this, you're going to click the Add to Selection option to start adding those colors to your selection for this image. Also, like on the item gallery, you can go up and delete any of these colors by clicking on the trash can in the upper right-hand corner. Next is probably the most exciting part of this entire edition, as far as I am concerned, is going to be to add tags. So you can now tag your inspiration photos. You are going to see a list here of popular tags down at the bottom. So these are going to be popular tags that you or your team has used in your account. So these are not like popular tags across details. They're going to be popular tags specifically for your company. So right now I've gone in and added the tag of spring and then also tablescape. I can click on any of these options over here to add them to my current tags. Or I can also click into the box and start typing any tags that I want as well. You will notice that you have that autocomplete like you see in other areas of details here. So you can click that to populate and click add. Or in this case, I'm going to do a new tag that's just table instead of tablescape. And then I can add that up there at the top as well. Additionally, I can go in and delete any tags that I want. So up here in the upper right-hand corner, I've got my little trash can, and that will allow me to go in and edit any of the tags that I've already assigned to this photo. So I'm going to be able to click on that X. And then also, just like you see in other areas, you are going to have that restore icon. If you hit the wrong one or anything like that, you can come back and restore that current tag. Be advised, though, that unlike other areas of the site where, if I delete it here and I don't restore it now, I can come back later and restore it. It doesn't work like that with the tags. So if I click this and I don't restore it at the point that I hit that done button, if I go back in to try and restore it again, it's not going to be there. I'll just have to re-add the tag. So just to keep that in mind. The last tab here on our inspiration box is going to be the other tab. So you can also assign this photo now alternate text, and then you can provide an attribution for this photo as well. So, if, like, for example, you're doing a styled shoot and you've got, a grower, a supplier, a florist, a photographer, etc., that you need to put an attribution for on the photo, then you can go ahead and put that attribution here. And then, of course, any changes that you make, you're just going to want to click that Save Inspiration down at the bottom, and that's going to update that here in your gallery. So the point of adding all of that information to our images is, of course, so that we're going to be able to easily find these images later. So for example, if I do a whole green and white wedding, I've got all these inspiration photos, and then 2 weeks from now, somebody else comes in with that same green and white theme, I can come back in here, search for green and white if I made that a category, or if I named it green and white, I can go ahead and search for that as well. But all of that searching information is going to be here on the left-hand side. So up at the top, I can search by all inspiration, or just like in the item gallery and a recipe gallery, if I'm in a specific collection, like maybe I made a venues collection, then I can search by this collection as well. Below that, I can search by my item name, or excuse me, my image name, but I can also search for things including certain words in the description, or I can search by attribution. So if I want to search for all of the photos that were from this photographer, or that were, including this particular model, I can go ahead and search that attribution there as well. Below that is going to be your search by category. As you start adding categories to your different images, they're going to show up here in the search by category area. Everyone is initially going to start out with simply not categorized. So when you come in here and you see the search by category, and if you only see that not categorized, it just means that as of now, you haven't assigned any categories to your existing images. Again, that's going to be found in the edit modal here for this particular image. And that's going to be the category field that we see here. Okay, so again, you can have any category that you want, because that is a free entry field. So you can just click in and type any category, and then it will show up here on the left-hand side in your search and filters. So you can use that later. Moving down, we have our search by color. This process is exactly the same as you see it in the recipe and item gallery. You can choose one of the quick colors, or you can open the color palette to search for a specific color. But you can also now search by tag. So for example, I want to see all of my photos that are tagged with greenery, or all of my photos that are tagged with pink. Then I can go ahead and search for those tags there as well. All right, so then moving on over here on the upper right-hand corner here. So the first option that we see is going to be to add new. So previously you had a button that said plus new inspiration. It was over here in like the top left-hand corner. That option is now moved over to the right-hand side, similarly to how we see it in both the recipe and item galleries now. And when you click that new inspiration button, it's going to prompt you to select a photo from either your computer or through a URL. And then it will allow you to fill out that same edit box that we saw previously. In addition to that, we've got the sort option next to it. So you can search by name, A to Z or Z to A, by most recent or by least recent, and then by last updated or first updated. And then the third option here is going to be that table view. This is going to be similar to the item gallery. So it's going to show up all of your information here, such as name, description, colors, and any tags that you might have. On this page, you will be able to edit the name of your inspiration. So for those of you who have been with us for a while and you've got, thousands or hundreds of inspiration images that you're going to want to go in and start updating, you can come here to the table view and go down and start updating all of your names and everything here to kind of get that process started. And then over here on the right-hand side in the tags area, you can also update your tags or attach tags to your photos. So right here, it's going to show me my most popular tags, and I can choose to assign those tags there. I can also choose to delete any tags that I might have already added from the screen as well. This column here where it says colors is going to have any colors that you might have associated to that specific image. Please do keep in mind that it has a limitation of 5 colors. So if you've assigned 10 colors to that image, only 5 of those colors are going to show up here in the in the table view, but you can certainly go in and view the actual image itself to go in and view all of the colors at once. All right, lovely. So I'm going to go back over to my gallery home. And then the next exciting update here for the inspiration gallery is going to be collections. So if you're familiar with both the item gallery collections and the recipe gallery collections, these are going to be exactly the same. In this case, though, you can do new collections of, anything that you want. So in this case, since they're going to be inspiration images, I might want to do like venue inspo or cake inspiration. From there, down at the bottom, I'm going to go ahead and assign an image to my background here. I'm going to select an image. And then I'm going to go ahead and use that image. You can also use colors. So if you would prefer to use a color background instead of having an image, you can certainly do that as well. You can also add in a short description of what this collection is. And then I'm going to go ahead and save that collection. There's no limitation to the number of collections that you can make. So, if you want to have themed collections or you want to have them broken down into like types like cake, flowers, venues, etc., you can certainly do that. And then inside of each one of your collections, with the exception of the all inspiration, but any that you create yourself, you can go in and create sub collections. So for example, maybe I have a bunch of cake flower inspo, but I want to keep like all of my like pink inspiration in one, or maybe my greenery cake flowers I want to go ahead and put over here. So I can do that by creating a new collection or sub collection here by clicking the plus add new in the upper right hand corner and clicking on new collection. This process is going to be the same as what we did there for our main inspiration folder. So let me just go ahead and put greenery. And I'm just going to go ahead and save that collection. Just like what I said with the main collections, there's no limitation to the amount of sub collections that you can make in a folder either. So you can make as many or as few as you'd like. So to start filling out my different collections, I'm going to go back to my gallery home and I'm going to go into my all inspiration. From there, I'm going to click on the options menu at the bottom, selection mode, and then I can just click on each one of the images that I want to include. So I'm going to do this just by scrolling down and just finding all of my different images here that I have of cakes. And then, of course, once I've grabbed all of the different cakes that I want to add into that particular folder, I'm going to go ahead and at the very bottom of my screen here, I'm going to click on the copy option. For anyone who's not familiar with this process, it's the same in all galleries. So if you ever want to move around items in any of the galleries, it's going to be the same process. So I'm going to go back to my gallery home and I'm going to go into my new cakes collection. And I can click that paste button down here at the bottom. Over here, also on our main board, I can clear that clipboard contents there, just like I would on any other gallery. All right, so next thing I kind of want to go over is previously, when you clicked on the star for your inspirations, they went into an area called event inspiration. It was a button that lived right up here in the top right-hand corner. So if anybody is not familiar with that area and you still have the old version there, I recommend you go in and look at that. But that option has now moved and it's going to be over here on the left-hand side on the inspiration board. This is not to be confused with your design board. So the inspiration board is strictly going to show you the inspirations that you've selected for this event. However, when you get to the worksheet, that's going to flip back over to your design board as it normally would. So just to give you guys some idea of how that's going to work, I'm going to click on the all inspiration area. And I'm going to go ahead and just click a couple of the images here in the top right-hand corner. I'll select them by clicking on that star, and then you'll see them over here on your inspiration board. If you ever go into an event and you want to look at just the inspiration that you've selected for this particular event, you can click on the eye icon, and that's going to move all of those items over here on the right-hand side. So if that's, you need to make an edit to that, or if you want to remove it completely from your inspiration for this event, again, you can click on that star in the upper right-hand corner. Additionally, if you want to remove items from your inspiration board or for the inspiration for this particular event, you can also click on the X in the upper right-hand corner here of any of those inspiration images. To navigate back and forth between your inspiration board and your search area, you can always click on this magnifying glass icon here at the top, and that will switch over your panels here on the left-hand side. All right. So that really covers the majority of the updates here, how to update your item, or excuse me, your images here, how to add information in for each one of your inspiration photos, how to search for those on the left-hand side, and then also the use case for the inspiration board. It does look like we had a question here from Megan. It says, can you upload images from recipe images that you have in details, but no longer in your computer? So unfortunately, you can't move images from the recipe gallery to the inspiration gallery, but you can move them from the inspiration gallery to the recipe gallery. So I would recommend maybe taking a screenshot of that from your recipe gallery, and you can re-upload it into your inspiration gallery if you want. But there's not like a direct connect there. All right, but I will open it up for any questions that anybody has. I know this one was a pretty heavily requested feature. So when you search by color, how specific does it have to be, or does it search as a range? So technically, the search by color works on the color wheel. So if anybody's familiar with how the color wheel works, basically it's going to be a radius from the color that you've selected. So if you pick pink, it's going to do a radius based on that color. So you may end up actually getting some that are red, or you might get some that are white, depending on like what the range is. And you can actually change that right here using this color match threshold. And you can say, okay, I want my range to go out. I want it to have anything that kind of, remotely resembles this color within this range. Or you can get completely specific and say, I only want this color pink, and I want it specifically to be this color pink and nothing else. I would recommend that when you search for a color that you kind of go somewhere in the middle, and that way, you probably get more varieties of pink, with the example of using pink there. But yeah, so you can change that. Rue Brown says, I love this so much. We love it too, Rue. Jennifer says, I'm sure you said this, but I was a few minutes late. When will these features be available to everyone? So Jennifer, right now they are currently out for our beta testers. Our goal is to have that released in not next week, but the following week. How can you take an inspiration picture and make it a recipe? Okay, yeah, we can go through that. So let's just say these are my inspirations, and these are the ones that I've selected for this particular event. So I'm going to navigate over to my worksheet here. And then for any line item, I'm just going to click on the plus symbol, and I'm going to click Add Blank Recipe. Then I'm going to click on the watermark image. And from here, I can select either from my all inspiration, which is going to be just everything that's in that all inspiration folder, or I can go to the choose from icon here in the upper right-hand corner and select event inspiration to show the specific ones that I've selected for this event, or the ones that were on that inspiration board. And then that's going to create a recipe from that inspiration image. And then from there, if I want to save it like in my gallery, I can always click that recipe options, new gallery recipe. Good questions. Yeah, my pleasure, Lily, no worries. Any other questions here about our new inspiration gallery, or any feedback? What do you guys think? We are going to have, oh yeah, Sue, of course. Sue says, awesome, thank you. Susanna said, it's been great so far. Thank you. Wonderful. Glad to hear that. Yeah. So like I said, it is out currently for our beta testers. We're not currently accepting any betas right now for this release, since we're already kind of into it. But if anybody is interested in joining our beta testing group to test out new features before they're released to everybody, you can always reach out to our team and fill out our form to be considered to be one of our beta testers. Our beta testers have been working very hard on this to make sure that when it reaches everybody, it's going to be completely perfect and everything is going to work exactly as you had always hoped that it had. And you know, so we're going to be having maybe like 2 weeks or so, and then we're going to have that released to production. So that just gives us all a chance to get out any of the kinks and everything, so that there's no interruption when it makes it to everybody. So we appreciate your patience, and I am so happy that everybody has joined us today. I hope that you've learned a lot. We are going to send that follow-up email, and I'm going to have the recap video, but I'm also going to have our support center article about all these new additions. So when you guys do start getting in there and getting familiar with everything, there's going to be some additional information there that you can go back and reference. Kim says, is there a quick way to get rid of duplicate inspiration images? So I think that this is going to be something that people are going to experience, especially because, you know, we've had people that have had the site for so long that you might have duplicate images in here. So my suggestion for that is going to be to go to the table view, and you can go down and just start clicking on the X's for the ones that you want to remove. And that way it'll make that a little bit faster. So there's no like confirmation, are you sure you want to delete this, things like that. You can just go ahead and click on that X there for any of the duplicates that you see. So that's what I would say. I would also recommend that everybody kind of dedicate some time for this particular area, especially if you've been with us for a while, only because, you know, these options were not there before. And so, you know, you're going to need to go in and name them and add tags and everything like that. But once you get everything kind of set up and tagged and have names on them and everything, this is going to make it so much easier for you guys to start searching for things, to add them into different new collections and things like that. Susanna says, any way to make the thumbnails a bit larger? So not without clicking on them. Not without clicking on them. All right, and then one last thing that I want to show everybody before we kind of wrap everything up today. So if there's anybody still with some lingering questions, go ahead and put those in the chat now while I kind of wrap this up. For each one of your images, if you click on it, it will give you that big view like we're normally used to in seeing the inspiration gallery. But an added feature here for this area is that we now have added in a slideshow option. So at the point that you start moving all of your stuff into collections, so maybe I have a collection and that collection has themes, and I want the boho. My bride has come in and she said, I want a boho wedding, as everybody does. And so then you can go into that particular collection, click on one of the images and click play slideshow. And then it's going to start running through all of the images that you have there. So your bride is going to be able, or your client in general is going to be able to come in here and view all of these images. They're going to start going through in a slideshow here, so they can say, oh, I really like that one, or I really like this one, and they can go in and just see all of the available like inspo options that you have for that particular style or color, etc. And then to exit, you're just going to click on that black area there, and then that will bring that down. Also on that image there at the bottom, you can scroll through the different tabs, kind of like what we saw when we went into edit each one of those images. So you can see all of your tags, any attributions, colors, information like the name, description, things like that as well. All right, well, it looks like nobody has any more questions, so we're going to wrap it. Oh, here we go. Here's Lily. So are we able to send our clients inspiration collections, or will they need to view it with us? They'll need to view it with you. So you can do like a consultation over Zoom or something like that, or if they're in person there with you, you can maybe have a screen set up or something that they can view that from as well. This was just an added bonus feature that our development team thought would be really nice. So it's there, basically for you to do consultations with your client. You will not be able to send them to your clients. Perfect. Yeah, of course. My pleasure. All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to wrap it up. And then if anybody has any additional questions, you can always reach out to our team using that chat bubble here in the bottom left-hand corner. Like I said, we are going to be sharing a recap video of our webinar today. And then I'm going to send over our inspiration gallery article so you guys can read through that. And then for anybody who's currently on beta, you guys have access to this now. Anybody who is not on beta, you'll have this in the coming weeks. So I look forward to everybody's feedback. Definitely, if you have any feedback at all about this feature as you're getting familiar with it, once you have access, let us know. We are always open to hearing any feedback or what you guys think of this new feature. So I appreciate you all spending your Tuesday afternoon with me, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.